I first got to know Evernote when I first came across the iPad when it came out in 2010, so that's my first introduction to Evernote, and ever since then I found it indispensable. It's on every phone I've ever carried, and it comes in very useful for interviews and for keeping memory of things and everything, every little digital item. So I was wondering really, if you could tell me really whereabouts the idea first came from for you guys. What was the spark that got Evernote out there?
Well, I think Evernote is maybe the least original idea in technology. We said we were going to let you use computers and phones to write things down and remember things, and it wasn't a spectacularly original idea, but I think it's all in the execution. So the vision was to build a second brain, something to make you smarter every time you used it, and it's not a complicated idea, but it's a difficult problem to solve, and it's one that I could see working for the rest of my life on, which was the whole point. I wanted something sufficiently epic to be our life's work.
And in terms of how many people are using it today, what's the usage like?
Well, we have a bit over 80 million people worldwide, of which 20-something% are in the US, and roughly the same as are in Europe, and the rest are spread out everywhere. So it's the core Evernote user is someone who has a very poor understanding of life-work balance, right? It's kind of the modern knowledge worker. It's someone whose entire happiness is based on how elegantly they can navigate through this just flood of information that's coming at them every day in their personal life and in their work life. And we just try to make those people a little bit happier, a little bit more productive.
And where do you see Evernote going? Because you're in an interesting space right now. We've got providers like Box and Dropbox providing storage.
Yep.
More and more of them are trying to add on APIs and make it the storage places more like workspaces.
Yep.
Do you see that place becoming more complicated for you, or more competitive maybe, or do you see you guys are going to do something inimical, useful, and none of them can copy you?
Well, both. I don't think Box and Dropbox are great companies. I don't think any of them are looking to copy us or anyone else. I mean, these are amazing companies with amazing founders with great ideas, and there's always going to be some overlap in what we do, and there's always going to be some stuff that's complementary and some stuff that's competitive. But that's just true of the world. I mean, if you look at our current most important partners, it's companies like Apple and Google and Microsoft and Facebook and Amazon, and all of these companies work with us on stuff, but also compete with us on stuff. We kind of refuse to see the world in zero-sum terms. Being a startup is not like boxing. It's more like playing music. Like, you're there with other musicians, and the interactions make everyone better. I think the world is a better place because companies like Box and Dropbox and Google and everyone else are in it, and we are honored to be kind of part of that group.
What kind of things can we see added to Evernote? Because the technology is like indispensable to a lot of people trying to remember stuff. Your video clips, your audio clips. What kind of things do you think we can add to it that make it more, productive in our lives, fit in with the kind of the workflow? Because you're also seeing people like say Salesforce.com trying to add in social media context to people's workflows. Do you see yourselves having to go in that direction too?
Well, we actually just announced a really big partnership with Salesforce.com. We fully integrated Evernote with Salesforce, and it's a really cool combination of products. What we're really seeing is that the line between consumer and business is completely fading. In fact, I think that 5 years from now, there will be no such thing as a successful enterprise software company that's not also a successful consumer software company, or even product company. Because I think modern knowledge workers are going to demand the same quality experience everywhere in their lives, and so it's the same people who use Evernote in their personal lives and who use it at work. So we're really working with some of the best enterprise companies out there, like Salesforce, to make this happen. The main thing on our agenda, on our roadmap, is we call it augmented intelligence. We want to build products that make you smarter when you use them. The real way to think about it is we want Evernote to present information to you that you need to accomplish whatever it is you're working on before you have to even think to search for it. We think even though we kind of became famous for how good our search is, we think if you have to search, something's already failed. Like, if we had done our job, you wouldn't have had to search because we would have shown you the information before you even had the thought that you needed to search for it.
So you've anticipated us.
Exactly. I think this anticipatory computing is a really big trend that we're all in at Evernote, but not just us. I think lots of companies are working on this, and I think we're going to do some really magical things around this idea of augmenting your intelligence.